Good morning. Welcome to Old Vine's Den. I am Jan, and it's early like Sunday morning. Thank you for joining me. Yesterday we had a real rainy day, and today the sun's supposed to be out, so we get a little bit of both. And tomorrow it's going to be rainy again, and that is your weather forecast. So I woke up real early. Well, I always do, but about 1 o'clock, and this word came to me, and the word was odd. Yeah, odd. And I started kind of meditating on that word and to see where it would take me. And I started thinking about how I've always felt odd. Now, I don't know if any of you can relate to that, feeling odd, feeling strange, feeling like you don't fit in. And I don't mean just sometimes, I mean in general, not just sometimes. We all feel that, but in general. Now, I came from an odd family, dysfunctional family. So in my family, it was very important to look normal, okay, even though we were all kind of odd. It was very important to project a look of normal, to be molded into that little cookie cutter so that you can fit in with everyone else. You look like everyone else, you act, you do all the things that everyone else does. And I always know it was a lie because we weren't. We weren't like everyone else. We weren't the normal family, whatever that is. But it was always a strain because I always felt strange. I always felt out of it, not part of the crowd. And I spent years and years and years trying my hardest not to be odd until, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 years ago, I started testing the waters on my oddness, and I started letting little parts of my oddness show. And I'll tell you, it was uncomfortable. Yeah, the looks you get, right? The little looks that the little comments, whatever. But I kept doing it. And gradually over time, I could show a little bit more of my oddness. But still, it's a work in progress. But I started reflecting on what the Buddha said about this, not so much odd, but being your own person, that we are all unique. We are all different. We all have strange things about us, odd things. Even if people don't show them, they all want to look like everyone else. We all have that. And those things should be celebrated. Those things are our creativity. Those things are what make us, us, and not everyone else. Those odd things. I looked it up like at 3 a.m. I wanted to know who in history had been known as being odd. So let me just share a few of these. They're kind of fun. Charles Dickens. He always faced north when he slept at night. That's pretty weird. And then when he stayed in I have a little cheat sheet. When he stayed in hotel rooms, he would always rearrange the furniture. That's a little odd. Uh, let's see, Lord Byron. He taught at Cambridge. Well, at Cambridge, you could not have a dog. But what did he do? Okay, I can't have a dog. He found a pet bear, a bear that had been trained, and that was his pet. That's what he had while he taught on campus, a bear, because they didn't have a rule about that. Salvador Dali, okay, the famous artist. He wore exuberant costume all the time, and he would say the most remarkable statements in a crowd just to get attention, just so everybody would look at him. Emily Dickinson, who is one of my favorite poets, which I read a book about her. I knew this, but she was a recluse. I mean, she lived most her life in her home, and she never came out. She would correspond through writing, through letters. She didn't become famous, or her poetry didn't, until after she died, and they found her poems in her room. And she always wore white. That's the color she wore, white. There's a couple more I wanted to share with you. Howard Hughes, which you know, was a germaphobe, right? He was very concerned about catching diseases. And he also stored his urine in glass jars. Now that's pretty odd. And last of all, Beethoven. This was funny. Beethoven, he would pour water all over him while he was composing music. That inspired him. And lastly, Tesla, the car maker, he was obsessed with the number 3. He had an aversion to pearls. And lastly, and this is the truth, he truly believed he could communicate with pigeons. Yeah. So there you are. There's odd right there. So oddness is your uniqueness, and it's taken me so many years to understand that it's not a bad thing. It should be celebrated. But you don't want to go too far. Now, you don't want to get to where you're flaunting your oddness, like I'm better than you because I'm different and you're just ordinary. You don't want to go to that extreme. You want to feel good in your own skin with your oddness. It's not so much about what other people, whether they're impressed with it or whether they're repulsed by it. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Who cares? Be yourself. I went to a Christmas party. This is the last thing I have to say. I went to a Christmas party about a week and a half ago. Now, I don't like parties so much. I can do a party of 4, party of 3, or a party of 2. But anything over that, I'm pretty well out of my element. But this was a party. And I went. And I was doing okay. The first half, I was holding my own. I was like getting in there, cocktail chatter, whatever you want to call it. Stuff you would never remember the next day, that kind of stuff. Until halfway. And at one point, there were a group of us sitting around the kitchen table, just part of the party group. And they're all chattering, cocktail chatter. And I'm just kind of sitting there, being the, until they started to talk about this one fellow. Now, this is a man that they don't really know. They know of, they've met once or twice, they don't know him. But they decided to talk about him and his oddness, his weirdness. He's weird. He's weird. And I know who it is. And if all of them, out of all those people, I know him a little bit better than all of them. I'll say that. So they're just, talking about him, and it's getting a little worse and a little worse, and a little meaner, I would say, a little bit more personal. And they don't even know this man. They're just jumping on each other's, it's like group talk. And so finally, I didn't have it in my mind to do this. I didn't think one thing about doing this, but out of my mouth came very nicely, not nasty. I said, I think we should stop talking about him now. And there came a pall, P-A-L-L, a pall over, a hush over the group. And they all looked at me. And then they all looked down. And then they all looked at each other. And I'm just sitting there, and talk about feeling odd. I knew at that moment it was time for me to leave. But you know what? There was a time when I would never have done that. There was a time that I might even have chimed in with them just to be part of the group, right? And I got home, I get a text from the person that put the party on saying, oh, I'm sorry, did we offend you? Or all this crap, whatever. But I thought, as awkward and weird as it was, it felt kind of good. And are you a person that stands up for the underdog? I've always been that way. You know, if somebody starts ganging up on one person, I'll stand up for them. Even if I don't like them, I'll stand up for them because I don't like that. So anyway, be the odd person. You know, celebrate it. Celebrate your oddness. Who cares? In the end, nobody's going to care one way or the other, right? Nobody cares as much as you care, so don't care. All right, so let's meditate. Will you give me 5 minutes of meditation? Will you come with me for 5 minutes? It's the most important 5 minutes. I can say this because this is what I believe. It's the most important 5 minutes of your day or night, whatever time it is for you. So we delve in first into our body. We reconnect, okay? So we've been in our mind listening to me chatter. Okay, so now we're going to go inwards, and Ollie's over there, and he's starting to dream. You probably can't hear him. He's so cute. Okay, close your eyes. We'll dream with him, all right? If you hear him whimper, it's okay. Roll your shoulders. Feel your shoulders. Lift them up. Roll them back. Let them drop. Let your arms soften and relax next to your body, and notice your hands become relaxed and fingers. Breathe in, feel your breath, and breathe out. That's all we have to do. Follow the breath. Follow it down into your belly. Soften all those muscles in your stomach. Now, as we move lower, allow your hips to sink into whatever's supporting you. And then move down into your thighs. I'd like you to tighten your thighs. So contract those thigh muscles, tighten them up, and then let them soften. And notice the difference. And then just leave them soft. Move down all the way down the lower leg, all the way down into the feet. And now position your feet. Kind of move them around a little bit. Find a position that feels good. Stretch your toes. So I want you to stretch the toes and then let them soften. Doesn't that feel good? Breathe in and breathe out. Coming back up into the chest. Moving up into the chest, up higher into the throat. And underneath the jaw, soften your jaw. Soften your mouth and your cheeks. Soften the eyelids. Lower the brows. Smooth the forehead. There's no lines. You're not worrying. You're not projecting. You're right here in the moment with me. The forehead is smooth, moving up into the scalp, and all those little muscles around the scalp relax. Breathing in, feel the breath. Breathing out, letting go of any tension down the back of the neck, all the way down into the back, all the way down to the lower back. Breathing in and breathing out. As we sit here together, perhaps you have something about you that you've always felt odd about. Or just in general, there's this feeling of not fitting in for one reason or the other. It could be anything, your ideas about things, your approach about things. It could be the way you look, your height, your weight, your age. It could be anything. Bring that forth, whatever that quality may be, and wrap yourself around with some compassion about that difference in you. That difference is part of you. It's what keeps you. It keeps you from being that group think. You know, that group think. Gives you some space to be creative, more creative than that, than jumping on the bandwagon, you know? Like walking to the beat of your own. We don't need to hide our oddness. No, we should celebrate it. We should expand on it and use it, that uniqueness. It can lead us to our brilliance, you know? Like all those people in the past. They use their oddness to produce their uniqueness. They didn't let it hold them back. If you're deeply introverted, that's okay. Isaac Newton was deeply introverted. If you don't sleep, if you're a light sleeper, Isaac Newton didn't sleep hardly at all. If you dress differently, that shows the world who you are. Breathe in and breathe out. Settle into your strangeness, your oddness. Let's not have that word have a bad connotation. Be odd. Be the odd man out. Why not? You know, we don't always have to conform. We can be who we are. We just have to get along, that's all. Breathe in and breathe out. Build on your differences. Build on them. You have different ideas. You have different opinions. You have different thoughts. It's okay. Don't flaunt them, but don't hide them either. Breathe in and breathe out. Be who you are meant to be. And it's scary sometimes. That's okay. Take a chance. Take a chance in life. Take a chance on you. Trust yourself. You'll be fine. Breathe in and breathe out. And let's travel lightly through our day or night. Let's smile. Let's not take it all too seriously. Let's find some laughter, a few chuckles, some smiles. I don't think we do that enough. We're all so serious all the time. Don't take yourself too seriously. Breathe in and breathe out. Very gently now, as our minutes are coming to a close of our meditation. We slowly bring ourselves back to where we began. And you can feel the surroundings. You can feel the peacefulness and the security of where you are and who you are. And gently, when you're ready, you can reopen your eyes and come back. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for letting me vent. You know, it's good to be able to say out loud to somebody, to anybody, that you're odd, that I'm odd. And it's okay to be odd. If there is anyone in your circle, in your life, that is feeling left out, is feeling different, or not part of things, or just strange, odd, give them this video. Maybe if they listen, it might help them. It's just an idea. But I know if I, years and years and years ago, if I would have had somebody that would just say this to me, it would have made me feel better. It's not that maybe it would still have taken me years and years to change, but I think at that moment, hearing somebody say they're odd and it's okay, it might have helped. It might have helped me. So if you know somebody that's feeling strange or an oddball, give them this video. Maybe it'll help. So there it goes. I'm done. I talked a lot. I don't know how long this has taken. I'm always afraid of talking too long or boring you. So thank you for coming. And I hope you have a good week to come. Relax a little. Don't get too stressed out and be patient with everybody. People out there are pretty uptight. I'll have to tell you a couple stories. I mean, there are people that are on edge out there, and it's supposed to be a fun holiday. So be patient and loosen up. I'll see you soon. Okay, bye.